Today we're diving deep into one of the most famous beasts of all time, none other than the Loch Ness Monster. This is the beast that was sighted in Scotland's Loch Ness so many times that it has inspired countless books, documentaries and movies. But before we get into this, I want to thank you for clicking on this video and ask that you please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's jump into these 10 stunning facts about the Loch Ness Monster. Number 10. The very first reported sighting of Nessie, as she is affectionately called, goes all the way back to the year 565 AD. According to a letter written by St. Columba, he came across a monster in a lake that was so big that its humps were above the surface. He calmed the beast by making the sign of the cross, and it disappeared underneath the water. Now, this could just be a tall tale, but it's also possible that this was the very first recorded sighting of the Loch Ness Monster. Number 9. It almost certainly wasn't a whale. One of the most popular theories as to what the Loch Ness Monster could be is a sturgeon, a large fish that can grow up to 15 feet long. However, sturgeons cannot survive in cold water, and the waters of Loch Ness are far too cold for them to live. Another popular theory is that the sightings could have been of a whale, but there are two problems with this theory. The first is that whales couldn't possibly be living in a freshwater lake, and the second is that the Loch Ness Monster is said to be over 20 feet long, which no known species of whale gets close to. Number 8. There are two distinct theories about how the legend began. The first theory claims that the legend began with a mistranslation. A writer for National Geographic wrote an article detailing a trip to the Highlands, where he had heard stories from locals about a monster that lived in the lake. He described the monster as humped like a bull and having the tail of a fish. This description was later translated into German and published in a magazine in Berlin. In the translation, the word humped was changed to huen, which means humped in German. Soon after, people were flocking to the area to try and see the strange creature for themselves. Number 7. Another explanation for the legend is that it was started in order to boost tourism. Before the legend of the Loch Ness Monster, the area around the lake was rather poor and almost unknown. With the sudden influx of tourists, businesses began to boom. Some people even claimed that the monster sightings started shortly after a new boat was put into service that offered daily tours of the lake. Number 6. It may not be a single animal. Some say that there could be more than one beast living in the lake, citing the multiple sightings of the monster as proof. Others say that some of the sightings could be of a large eel. Number 5. In 1933, the Daily Mail newspaper offered a reward of £200 to anyone who could capture the beast, offering further evidence of its existence. A total of 14 people came forward claiming to have photos of the monster, but none of the pictures were accepted as genuine. Later, one of the men came forward claiming that he had swapped the photos with the newspaper for £50, admitting that they were not of the Loch Ness Monster. Number 4. Despite being one of the most famous monsters in the world, there is still not a single confirmed sighting of the Loch Ness Monster. The closest any investigation has come to confirming its existence was in 1987, when sonar equipment picked up something large moving through the water. But when a remote-operated vehicle was sent to investigate, it came back empty-handed. Number 3. The Loch Ness Monster has been immortalized in popular culture, appearing in everything from movies to video games. It has also been featured on The Simpsons and even had its own episode on The X-Files. Number 2, surprisingly, recent DNA testing has actually helped prove that the Loch Ness Monster does not exist. Back in 2019, a group of scientists from the University of Otago, New Zealand, took matters into their own hands. They created their own Loch Ness Monster Mythbusters episode, collecting water samples from the lake and analyzing the DNA within to see if they could find any sign of a new species. After all, if the monster did exist, it would need to be a completely new species in order for it to have evolved without being related to anything else. What they found was that the DNA matched that of other animals that lived in the lake, like eels, but nothing new or unknown. And finally, number 1, the Loch Ness Monster has inspired a devoted following. There are numerous societies dedicated to the search for the Loch Ness Monster, with the oldest one being founded in 1972. The Loch Ness Investigation Bureau has collected and analyzed reports of sightings, trying to determine the validity of each story. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you learned something new. If you did, please make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content. Also, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the Loch Ness Monster. Do you believe that she exists? And if so, what do you think she could be? I'll see you next time. Bye.